Hello everyone and welcome back to English with Lucy. I have the most incredible treat for you today. I am shortly going to welcome two lovely guests who have generously given their time to help teach you the differences between Australian English, American English and British English. We're going to look at how we pronounce words differently. We've already done a video on differences in vocabulary. You can click on the link in the description box to watch that. If you want to improve your pronunciation and your listening skills even further, then I highly recommend the special method of combining reading books whilst listening to their audiobook counterpart on Audible. This is how you use the method. Take a book that you have already read in English or a book that you would like to read in English. I've got plenty of recommendations down below in the description box. And read that book whilst listening to the audiobook version on Audible. Reading alone will not help you with your pronunciation because English isn't a strictly phonetic language. The way a word is written in English may not give you much indication at all as to how it's pronounced in English. But if you listen to a word at the same time as reading it, your brain will start making connections. And the next time you hear that word, you'll know exactly how it's spelt. And the next time you see that word written down, you'll know exactly how it's pronounced. It is such an effective method, and the best part is you can get one free audiobook. That's a 30-day free trial on Audible. All you've got to do is click on the link in the description box and sign up. I've got loads of recommendations down there for you. First up, we have Emma.
Hey there, I'm Emma from the English YouTube channel, coming at you from Perth in Western Australia.
And we also have Vanessa.
Hi, I'm Vanessa and I live in North Carolina in the US. I run the YouTube channel Speak English with Vanessa.
And I'm speaking with modern received pronunciation, so not everyone from Britain speaks like me, it depends where you're from. These are two fantastic teachers and I have left all of their information in the description box, so you should definitely go and check them out. We are going to look at 6 sounds, and for each of these 6 sounds I have included 5 example words, so you'll hear us say the words and then we'll look at how we pronounce them differently. Okay, we've got the first 5 words.
Tuesday,
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 YouTube,
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 TUNA,
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 news,
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 duty,
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 duty.
duty. So you can hear that Vanessa does something called yod dropping. In British English and Australian English, these words have a y sound. Tuesday, tuna, duty, news. In American English, they often drop this y sound. It's called yod dropping. Tuesday, duty.
Tuesday, duty.
You can also hear when we join a t and a y sound, sometimes we blend these together to make a ch sound. And Emma does this when she says Tuesday, tuna.
Tuesday, tuna.
This is also common in British English. It's something that I do, especially when I'm speaking quickly. Can you give me some tuna? It's Tuesday today. Many people say this is wrong or lazy. It's not, it's efficient. Let's have a look another time at Vanessa saying what I call duty. Duty.
Duty.
She says duty. So not only does she drop that y sound to make do instead of due, she also replaces the t sound with a D sound. And that's something we're going to look at a bit more later on. Emma also replaces the T with a D sound, but she doesn't drop the Y sound. I say duty, she says Judy.
Judy.
And that's funny because we do say Judy in English, but it only refers to the woman's name Judy. Let's have a look at the next set of words. All of these in British English pronunciation have an O sound.
Modern,
Modern.
Modern,
modern,
Modern.
modern,
bottle,
Bottle.
bottle,
bottle,
Bottle.
bottle,
sorry,
Sorry.
sorry,
sorry,
Sorry.
sorry,
shopping,
Shopping.
shopping,
shopping,
Shopping.
shopping,
borrow,
Borrow.
borrow,
borrow,
Borrow.
borrow. Now you can hear that where we say the O sound, as in modern, Vanessa in American English says the R sound, modern.
modern,
She also pronounces the R, the sound at the end of the word, and we don't tend to do this in British English. Now, the Australian pronunciation is very similar here to the British English pronunciation. Emma's O sound is maybe slightly more relaxed, but the difference is absolutely tiny. I say bottle, which can sound quite posh. If I were to speak really quickly, I might say bottle of water. But if I'm speaking slowly and clearly, a bottle of water. Australian English, American English, they replace that T with a D. Bottle, bottle.
Bottle.
bottle,
So Australian English and British English here are extremely similar. American English is quite different. So now we're going to look at the T sound, or not in some cases, because in American English and Australian English, sometimes they don't pronounce the letter T as a T. Now it's interesting because both Vanessa and Emma do seem to alternate slightly. Sometimes they use the T sound and sometimes they use the D sound.
Okay, for me personally, these T ones are kind of weird. I use both. Sometimes it's a flap T, sometimes it's a fully pronounced T. The flap T is pretty common in Australia though.
daughter,
Daughter.
Daughter,
daughter,
Daughter.
daughter,
meeting,
Meeting.
meeting,
meeting,
Meeting.
meeting,
little,
Little.
little,
little,
Little.
little,
percentage,
Percentage.
percentage,
percentage,
Percentage.
percentage,
interview,
Interview.
interview,
interview,
Interview.
interview. So you can see here with the word little, or little how I say it,
little,
Little.
they both use a D sound in the middle, but in other words, they use the T sound, like percentage.
percentage,
Percentage.
Vanessa really does pronounce that sound at the beginning. She says percentage, percentage. So in these ones, we are looking at the R sound. For me, it's quite different in American English, and there's a slight difference in Australian English. I wonder if you'll be able to pick up on it, because it is very, very slight.
car,
Car.
Car,
car,
Car.
car,
hard,
Hard.
hard,
hard,
Hard.
hard,
parking,
Parking.
parking,
parking,
Parking.
Parking.
Shark.
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 Barnyard.
Barnyard. Would never say that. Shed.
Barnyard.
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 Barnyard. So let's start with American English. They pronounce the sound. Car.
Car.
In British English and Australian English, we don't use this sound in the R words, but British English is more of an R sound. R. R. Australian English is ever so slightly more open than the British vowel sound here. It's more ah, car.
Car.
Can you hear the difference? It's almost like the vowel sound is shorter and slightly more open. Shark.
Shark.
Now let's look at words with the O sound in British English.
Go.
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 No.
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 Overflow.
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 GoPro.
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 Showing.
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 Showing. Can you hear the ever so slight difference between the British English no and the American English?
No.
In British English, we start with the schwa sound, and then it's a diphthong, so we blend that into the sound. O, O. In American English pronunciation, they start with the O sound, which starts further back in the mouth, and then they blend it into the sound. O, O. So it's a wider vowel sound coming from further back in your mouth. O, 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 O. Now, Australian English pronunciation can be very different. Emma's accent is quite light, but there are a couple of times where she goes O, where I go O, 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 O. It's almost like she includes a y sound. One example is where she says both.
I use both. I use both.
And another one is when she says overflow. It's just leaning towards overflow.
Overflow.
But then at other times she almost completely matches my pronunciation as well. Okay, let's look at how we pronounce ER words. Words that end in ER.
Better.
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 Water.
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 Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Later.
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 Cellar.
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 Cellar. So with the pronunciation of ER at the end of words, and this works for many AR words as well, in American English they pronounce the R at the end, and in Australian English and British English we don't. Better.
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 Also pay attention to the way they pronounce the T's. In American English, in the middle of words, this is nearly always a D sound.
Better.
In Australian English, it completely depends, it appears. Sometimes Emma uses the D sound, sometimes she uses the T sound.
Water. Later.
It might be depending on her mood. For me, and I'm speaking with modern received pronunciation, so not everyone from Britain speaks like me, it depends where you're from. Sometimes if I'm speaking quickly and in an informal situation, I might use that d sound. For example, instead of saying, but I want to go, I might say, but I want to go, but I want to go. I might use a glottal stop instead of the t sound, but I want to go. So there you have it, some of the most profound differences between American English pronunciation, Australian English pronunciation, and British English pronunciation. If you like this video, we have a much more light-hearted vocabulary lesson as well, where we compare the way we say, where we compare the different vocabulary words that we use. Thank you so much to Emma and Vanessa for generously giving up their time to help me make this video for you guys. I have left all of their information in the description box. Go and check out their channels. They are really fantastic teachers. Don't forget to check out Audible. You can claim your free audiobook. That's a 30-day free trial. All you've got to do is click the link in the description. And don't forget to connect with me on all of my social media. I've got my Facebook, my Instagram, and my Twitter. And I shall see you soon for another lesson. Mwah.